All right, awesome. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're really excited to talk about how True Classic unlocked growth through Convergent TV. My name is Alex Visoky. I'm a client strategy lead at Tatari. Whenever we talk TV, we like to kick it off with a little icebreaker about what we're watching. I'm currently watching Tokyo Vice on Max. It's quite good. I highly recommend it.
Cool. Hey, everybody. I'm Paige, Senior Vice President of Marketing at True Classic. I've been there about a year, and prior to that, I spent 6 years at Meta working with brands on their performance marketing. And the show I'm watching right now is True Detective Season 4.
Good
and
choice.
The Bachelor.
And The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Good diversity there. All right, super excited to be with Paige. First, a little bit about both of our respective companies. Tatari is a platform for buying and measuring ads across streaming and linear TV, along with online video. We've really tried to turn TV into a digital-like experience with agile media buying, next-day measurement, and optimizations for KPIs across the entire marketing funnel, from brand awareness all the way down to performance, as we'll tap into. Here's a snapshot of some of the 200-plus brands that we work with, ranging from advertisers who are on TV for the very first time, all the way up to legacy TV advertisers who are in the upfronts every year and do Super Bowl ads, to everything in between. Some advertisers use our platform to buy TV themselves in-house, while some leverage our managed service offering, where we work with folks like myself and a dedicated team to optimize your strategy, both short-term and long-term, on TV. Paige, tell us a little bit about True Classic.
Yeah, so True Classic is a men's apparel brand. We started about 4 years ago, and our core product when we first kicked off was t-shirts. We've since expanded to other product categories like outerwear, briefs, bottoms, and more. And we've had a lot of success these last 4 years. A couple of stats that we put up here on the slide is we've had over 200,000 five-star reviews, 3.4 million customers, and 25 million units sold. And all in, that's over 400 million in net revenue. So really proud of that.
Yeah, it's an incredible growth story, as I'm sure everyone in this room knows, and I'm excited to talk about how TV has played a part in that. Before we do so, we just want to set the stage on what we mean by this concept of convergent TV. Through a simple example, hopefully everyone can relate to it, as illustrated here by this Venn diagram. Only caveat is if you were at the game in Vegas, you're exempt. So lucky you, it was a pretty epic game. All right, so first off, raise your hand if you watch the Super Bowl on traditional linear TV on CBS. So that could be something like DirecTV, a cable box like Spectrum or Comcast, or YouTube TV counts in this category nowadays. Okay, a fair amount of you. This is where the bulk of the eyeballs were for the Super Bowl. How about if you watched it on streaming? So that'd be on Paramount Plus. Wow, a lot of you, more than I expected. That's obviously growing quickly. And then lastly, maybe you didn't have a chance to be in front of the TV, so you had to watch online, like on a mobile device or desktop. A couple of you, all right. Everyone else were in some friends' living rooms. So as you can tell by that quick survey, and likely just by reflecting on your own viewing habits, the TV landscape is very vast and it's changing very quickly. So when we say convergent TV to our clients, we're really trying to emphasize how important it is to make all of these buckets work as performance marketing channels, streaming, linear, and online video. And we're going to talk about how True Classic has tapped into all of those areas successfully. So this graph here is the current TV landscape in terms of total viewership. So streaming is growing. It's nearly 40% of the overall viewership in the US. But notably, linear TV, if you combine cable and broadcast, is still half of the TV viewership pie, largely driven by live sports. So the key is making sure that you have a strategy for linear, streaming, and then layering on other video assets across the web. And we're going to talk about some of these executions that True Classic has done in a little bit. But first, Paige, why don't you tell us a little bit about your marketing mix and how TV fits in?
Yeah, so a little bit of history on us. We started on Meta, so Facebook and Instagram. That was really where we put our first initial dollars in to grow the business, and was kind of the backbone of the company that gave us the momentum that we needed to take a foray into other channels. Then we expanded into Google, TV, TikTok, and podcasts, and we'll speak about TV in more depth in a bit.
Yeah, so when you decided to launch TV, what stage were you at in terms of your growth, and why did you test TV?
Yeah, so for us, we actually started TV pretty early. We were about a year into our growth when we decided to make the jump. And I think that's a common misconception, that you have to be a bigger, more established brand with really big budgets or brand budgets to venture into TV, and that hasn't been our experience, especially working with Tatari. So for us, the reasons for doing it, one was to increase our reach. So we really wanted to make sure that we were getting in front of buyers that may not be spending all of their time on social media or other online channels. So that was a big piece of it. And then I also think the trust piece is big. It does establish an important level of legitimacy to some degree, and just overall brand trust if you're seeing an ad on TV. And lastly, I think increasing efficiency and then just overall diversifying your media mix. I don't know if anyone got the CNN push notification today about Meta being down, but that was what we were dealing with this morning. So it can be challenging when you're heavily reliant on one channel. So that was a big reason for us to go into TV.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the perfect balance of brand and performance, as we'll talk through. So we're going to go through 3 key areas of True Classic's TV journey. First, we're going to talk about their first ever TV plan and what goes into actually building a testing plan. Then we're going to talk through some specific strategies that they've executed recently across the whole TV spectrum. And then lastly, we're going to talk through, arguably the most fun part, about creatives that they're actually airing on all these channels. So first, Paige, why don't you tell us about True Classic's first ever TV test, which was back in 2021.
Yeah, so another misconception that, at least that I had, was that you needed big budgets to go on TV, and that wasn't our experience when we first started. So we worked very closely with the Tatari team to develop first a plan on linear that was $25,000 a week, and we decided to cast a really wide net and hit a bunch of different networks to understand where our customer was, what was resonating, what worked, and just really kind of go in that learning mode. And we found that the networks that are listed behind me really worked well. So MTV, Pop TV, Vice, AMC, and others. And that gave us confidence to then foray into streaming. We took the exact same approach, but slightly smaller budget, so $8K a week to start, and casted a wide net and found that Paramount Plus, Tubi, Discovery Plus, and others did really well. And those all continue to be really good winners for us thus far, and we've just continued to learn and optimize and find those networks that are really big winners for us.
Yeah, awesome. It doesn't take much budget to cast a wide net. Find some networks. These happen to be really scalable winners that you can spend a lot on successfully with different targeting parameters as well, layered on top of it. If you're not familiar with TV, maybe you're coming from search or social, building a TV campaign might feel a little bit foreign to you, but our platform makes it super easy. We have data science informed recommendations, where to buy, how much should I be paying, how many units, and then we're optimizing towards outcomes like website visit, install, purchase, just like any other digital campaign manager. And we're also optimizing towards audiences, right? That's the other key part about TV, reaching your audience. We have a partnership with Experian, where we have really robust and actionable audience-level data, looking at all their consumer household information. We're able to tie all of those IPs to our actual streaming and many of our linear impressions, and able to understand who is actually watching. So this example on the screen is just showing, okay, what publisher should I test on TV? Which in the last 4 weeks most mirrors my recent website traffic. Okay, that's probably where I should go and actually test, and that's all tied together by this Experian data. All right, so we talked about testing. Now we're gonna talk about more current strategies now that True Classic is a little more mature on TV across linear streaming and a little online video. So we talked about how sports is obviously driving a lot of linear viewership, and Paige, you guys had some success on this last summer.
Yeah, so we took a similar approach in terms of testing different categories, and for us, we leveraged our consumer insights data about what we knew about our customer, and a big theme that emerged is that our customer loves watching sports, so that just felt like a really good place for us to be serving ads. So we ended up testing into sports. We started with USA Sports, and at a small budget, relatively modest, and the results speak for themselves. We had a 37% reduction in our CPA below the target that we had, and saw a 7,000 lift in site visitors. So just a really good learning for us, and we've since continued to expand our reach there.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people think to get into sports on TV, you need massive budgets. It's really not the case. Here, True Classic got in to live Premier League soccer, NASCAR, Olympic sports in a biddable environment. And that's able to drive not only upper funnel metrics, but lower funnel metrics as well. Similarly, on the entertainment side, again, continuing the full TV spectrum, you can get into some of these high-reaching entertainment networks and drive good results as well. In this case, it's Comedy Central is the case study.
Yeah, this was another one that we leveraged some consumer insights data where we know that our customer responds really well to humor, and that's a very big part of our brand ethos. If anyone has seen our ads, you'll know that we try to infuse humor into it, and we'll show some ads in a few slides here if you haven't. And you can tell me later if you see me around if you think they're funny. Maybe they're not. But we decided to venture into comedy, starting with Comedy Central. We felt that would be a really good synergy of our brand humor and the network that we were pushing ads on, and saw really good results. So 18% below our CPA goal and a 3x ROAS.
Really fantastic results, and again, really, really scalable channels. So we talked a little about linear, and now we'll talk about streaming. So this is looking at a few months ago in Q4 during the holiday shopping period where we knew sports worked on linear. Again, we want to hit the full TV landscape, so you're targeting sports content on Paramount Plus, and it seems to have paid dividends.
Yeah, so this was during Q4, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which probably many of you can relate to. That's the Super Bowl for a lot of brands here, and certainly for us. So for us, when it came to a TV strategy, it was really important for us to secure some market share. And so we took advantage of Tatari's guaranteed CPMs, which was just a great way to have confidence and know that we were going to have inventory that we could push into during the most crucial time of year for us. And we saw really amazing results. So 62% CPA goal, or 62% below our CPA goal, and 53,000 additional site visitors to our website during Black Friday. So it was great.
Awesome. And then another tactic during this time, we targeted content with sports. Also, we could also target by demo, right? So True Classic's a male skewing brand. We wanted to target males age 18 to 49, saw that Pluto worked well during the pilot, so we went to double down there and add a layer of targeting. I think a common thing marketers think of when they want to test CTV is they want to test audiences, and then it just goes across the entire publisher universe programmatically. You don't have as much control. At Tatari, we really try to go directly to the publishers at really efficient CPMs, and we're still able to layer on these targeting layers. And the CPMs are a lot more efficient that way, and clearly it led to really good actual performance results.
Yeah, this was another cool learning for me as somebody who came from Meta and the paid social world, just to know that there actually are a lot of levers at your disposal for TV targeting, like the demographic targeting. So that was very helpful for us to leverage, and also saw really good results with a 2x ROAS and a $2.95 cost per visitor in terms of results. So just another good learning for us, and just would encourage you to keep asking those questions, like what are the levers that you have at your disposal, because it's probably more than you might think. At least that was my experience.
Yeah, the other thing is there's not much overlap between the streaming audience and the linear audience. We report on that consistently, and just that show of hands earlier, that if you're watching linear, you're probably there. If you're watching streaming, you're probably there. There's not that much overlap. So again, you gotta hit all of these buckets. And all this is measured on a next day basis in our dashboard. Paige, what do you think about the experience with our platform in terms of measurement?
Yeah, I actually really love your platform. Again, as somebody who came from Meta and that world, having a dashboard that showed all the same metrics that I'm so used to obsessing over, like ROAS, CPA, CPMs, site visitor traffic, all of that and more is integrated into your dashboard in a very user-friendly way. Which I don't take for granted, just the user-friendliness of your platform, because not every vendor I've worked with has that. So it's been a really great experience, and just I think was a good transition for me to just like bridge the gap between TV, which is like traditionally looked at as kind of like a brand play, but seeing that it can actually drive direct response outcomes, and you can see that reflected very easily in a dashboard.
Awesome. And then we're able to close the loop with TV, as we call it, just like on digital, right? So we're able to actually tie the impression from the TV ad all the way to the actual action on the website or mobile app and make apples to apples measurement with digital channels. And we're able to do that because we're sitting on a ton of IP level data. From streaming, all of our publishers pass back 100% of the IPs, and then we're able to tie that to actual measurement. And then on the linear side, we have a really robust data set of smart TV data providers. So I don't know if everyone saw the news about Walmart acquiring Vizio. That was no surprise to us because we know how much retailers value this data to actually lead to attribution, to make TV into more of a performance channel. So we have over 30 million devices that's feeding us this IP level data. We're tying it to all these events that we're ingesting in the dashboard, and then actually doing proper incremental attribution. All right, this last example sort of ties it all together in this convergent TV world that we're talking about. So why don't you talk us through this buy?
Yeah, this is a fun one because we talked about our smaller test into sports earlier on, and we continued to build on that momentum and decided to do our very first in-game NFL Thursday night football spot on Amazon last fall. So that was a little bit bigger of an investment for us, but we felt confident in doing it because of the success we had had leading up to that point, and coupled with the fact that we were going to be taking a very intentional full funnel approach to it. So one thing that was great about that is that we were able to build a retargeting audience off of everybody that was exposed to our ad from that first in-game spot, and then we were able to serve them with the same ad a second time on different networks and experiences through TV. And in doing that, we were able to see a 46% reduction in our CPA. And I think it's important to note too, like any marketers in here can appreciate that you typically need to hit your customer more than once, right? Like usually it's well more than once. So being able to have this full funnel approach and have full confidence that we were gonna hit people at least twice was really good for us, and the results were strong.
Yeah, it's really the perfect example. You go reach a net new audience on football who may have never heard of your brand, you build that funnel, but it's only one exposure, and then you actually can retarget those users across not only streaming but online video. All right, so the last piece is creative, arguably the most important lever for a successful TV campaign. So we're going to dive into a few examples of what is currently on air right now that True Classic's airing. I guess before that, why don't you just touch upon that notion that you need a really big budget to actually produce a TV ad, and maybe like how you actually think about allocating dollars towards production.
Yeah, definitely. So this is the best slide. So you guys, hopefully, you'll have to tell me later if you like these ads. But yes, another misconception of mine was that you did need really big budgets to produce very nice TV ads, and some agencies have quoted us well over $100,000 for a TV ad, and I'm sure that they do very good work, but we've actually had an experience where you don't need to spend that much to make TV work. So we'll go through 3 examples here of 3 different ads of ours. The first one, not as funny as the other 2, but still effective. And this was our lowest budget ad. So literally cost us 0 additional dollars to create. It was literally just leveraging the existing assets that we already had on our website, on other social channels, whatever it is. It took our editor probably 2 hours to make this ad, and it's live on TV right now. So very scrappy, but in my mind, very effective and very direct response focused.
Cool, so let's actually check it out. Awesome. All right. Next, how would you comment on what we're calling this mid-size budget type creative?
Yeah, so this next one's been a big winner for us. One thing that we pride ourselves on is our creative, and so we have a great in-house team that is very intentional about how we produce assets and making sure that we do so as cheaply as we can. So this was an asset that was produced in-house, from the concept to the shooting to the editing, and to getting it live. And all in, we probably spent around $30,000 to develop this asset. So not nothing. Obviously, it's a bit of an investment, but it's far better than an $100K plus buy that you might get from somewhere else.
All right, so let's check it out. I like this one. It's called T-Emergency.
True Classic makes sure you actually will wear. A tighter fit around your arms and chest, but loose ends
Awesome. And then lastly, maybe a little more leaning upper funnel towards brand. What's your approach there?
Yeah, so this one's actually my favorite ad that we have, and the two guys featured in it have been sort of recurring figures in a lot of our ads, which I think has also helped build some notoriety and brand recognition. So that was a strategy. But this one, you can see when you watch it, it's a 30-second spot. There's more of a story to it. There's more of an arc. There's more punchy humor. And a little bit more highly produced. So all in, this one probably cost us around $50,000 to $60,000, I would say. I don't know if that's the exact figure, but roughly in that range. So still relatively good, but I think, I mean, it's been such a big winner for us, both on TV and other channels as well.
Fantastic. And I just think another important thing to know when investing in creative is that these creatives can last for a really long time on TV. It takes years, honestly, in some instances, to see burnout. And they can be repurposed. So we talked about Black Friday, Cyber Monday from an execution perspective in terms of placements, but how did you approach it from a creative perspective?
Yeah, this is, I think, an important call out because, like we talked about earlier, everyone knows Black Friday, Cyber Monday is the most critical time of year. And for us, and I would apply the same thinking to all channels, you don't have to reinvent the wheel during this time of year. You want to find your existing winners, the assets that you have the most confidence and conviction around, and just repurpose them. So in our case, Teamergency has been a consistent winner for us for well over a year. It hasn't shown any signs of fatigue, even now. And so all we did was change the outro. We had it be consistent with our Black Friday offer, updated the QR code to go to the right landing page, and it rinse and repeat. It was really easy, so it allowed us to really de-risk, have confidence going in, and that proved to be the right way to go.
Perfect. Definitely the right choice. In approach, so that wraps things up. We'd love to talk TV with you, and the first 20 people that come to our booth can get a True Classic gift card. Paige, what should they be in the market for with that $50?
Yeah, so we're known for our t-shirts, as you saw in the ad, so I would definitely do that and think about maybe buying a pack since you get savings when you buy in bulk. And then our briefs are actually an unsung hero. They're our most highly rated products, so maybe those as well.
I got
Awesome.
one Tatari question.
Please.
How important is the QR code on this? Because I feel like, why don't regular TV commercials put QR codes on shit anymore?
Yeah, I'll go first, and then I'm curious to hear about your specifics about the QR code. It doesn't make as much of an impact in terms of people clicking it or taking a photo as you might expect, but it's growing. I think TV is a second screen experience for some people, but it's not for others. But it does give you a good signal about another lever of almost fact-checking other attribution channels where you can actually get a better sense of the consumers that are actually going through the QR code and learning a little bit more about them. I'm curious the success that you've had with the QR code.
Yeah, I would say, like, as a very direct response focused brand, a very analytically driven brand, just the more data we can get, the better. So QR codes, even though not everybody is using them, it still does unlock an additional layer of insights that we can leverage. We can see what time people are, scanning the QR codes, what time of day, what time of week. We can marry that with what we're seeing on Tatari to see if it overlaps, if it conflicts. You can add it as a weighted average into certain modeling for your performance metrics. So it's just another lever that you can use for analyzing data that I'm a big fan of.
I appreciate it. Yeah, the number one winner of lockdowns was QR codes. So shout out to QR codes. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Tatari, True Classic. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.